Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 18 video, The Frenemy of My Enemy. This week was all about shifting alliances, so I'm expecting, versions of this to happen in Captain America Civil War. This episode took that to the logical next step, alliances changing many times. You could also consider it a minor crossover with Age of Ultron, but only because of a passing comment in one of those Hydra scenes. So just careful for spoilers from the episode if you haven't seen it yet. I'll actually start with that. The only real point of crossover in the episode was when they referred to Baron von Strucker and Dr. List being obsessed, like crazy obsessed with powered people. As we know, Baron von Strucker using Loki's staff to experiment on people to try and create powered people. Slightly different from what's going on with the Inhumans, but Coulson and his team members don't know anything about that. Based on the Winter Soldier post-credit scene, I'd even go as far to say that von Strucker is keeping his experiments secret from the rest of all of Hydra. So even though Dr. List found a way to track Gordon to track the teleporter, he still probably has no idea what Baron von Strucker is doing with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. So here we go, top 5 WTF moments, starting with number 5. Fitz shakes the tail and joins Team Coulson. I think we all expected this after the last episode, so it wasn't a huge surprise, but it was nice to see Fitz go on the run. Be a little bit of a secret agent. We don't get a lot of opportunities to see James Bond Fitz. The next step up would be like parkour Fitz. The real action from his character was in dealing with the alliance that they had to make with Ward, the person who caused him to have all those mental problems. That's only going to get worse now too, because Coulson turned himself in, I suppose, to infiltrate the real S.H.I.E.L.D. So Fitz is left with Hunter, Ward, and Agent 33, so he's probably even less happy than he was before. On to number 4, Coulson makes a deal with Ward to get intel on Hydra. If it was a little confusing as to why he needed to make the deal with Ward, it's because he needed information on the Inhumans from Hydra that only Ward could get so that he could find where Gordon took Skye. That Mexican restaurant that they had their scene in, that's one of my favorite Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sets in recent memory. It's just so funny how they meet in like the most mundane places. Like they might go to some other hole in the wall eventually and have some shawarma over some really tense meeting. Didn't you think it was interesting too that Deathlock asked Agent 33 if she had a spare mask lying around? As much as he's full on Deathlock now, he still thinks about his appearance, like he still wants to look more human. Then we have the big Tahiti call out. That was a lot of fun. So what Coulson was talking about, the Tahiti protocol, is just the mind wipe, nothing else. When he said Tahiti though, your mind kind of goes to Kree blood. It's like, are they going to kill him? Does he have to die and they're going to resurrect him? No, really it's just what they did to Coulson after they resurrected him, when he had that giant machine poking around in his open skull. That does not look like fun, so you can't fault Ward for being a little apprehensive. Coulson does try to appeal to the humanity in him, but they're both kind of playing each other. Coulson's like, I give you my word as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., but surprise, surprise, he's not the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore, and Ward is probably lying through his teeth too. That just goes back to the frenemy of my enemy line. They both know they can't trust each other, but they have a bigger common enemy, so they're working together temporarily. That's why I think that Ward was so willing to help Coulson in that big firefight at the end. And he has a bigger goal that he's trying to achieve anyway. So it's in his best interest to keep Coulson alive. It does make you wonder if there's going to be some sort of redemption for his character at a certain point. Really, I don't care. I think he's a lot of fun the way he is right now, being totally bad. The whole potted plant house with Agent 33 was a little surreal, so, we'll see what that ends up looking like. They might have some twisted romance. Think Joker, Harley Quinn kind of thing. On to number 3, Skye goes on a daddy-daughter date with her father. I think we all knew he was going to lose his mind at a certain point. We were just kind of waiting for the hat to drop. Was it going to be the thugs that bumped her on the street? Was it going to be the Hydra agents? I thought the minute he saw that the pastry shop had been replaced with a bank, that was going to be it. Once he found out what was really going on, like what the Inhumans' plan really was, like to dump him off, he did get pissed, but he still wanted to save Skye. He jumped in the portal with Gordon and Skye, so I'll be interested to see, what they do, how that changes the dynamic back at the Inhumans base, back at the afterlife, whatever they want to call it, because they're going to want to rescue Lincoln. The whole side trip is also a nice callback to the comics. Daisy Johnson is the Quake character. That's who Skye is, basically, the comic book character. So she says her name out loud just to hear what it sounds like. She found out that her first name was really Daisy, and now she found out what the last name was. What I'd like to see in like a future season, whenever shit dies down, she's forced to go undercover, and just as like a point of comedy, she uses the secret name Daisy Johnson. Technically, Daisy Johnson doesn't exist in the real world. There's no birth certificate or anything like that, so she could use it as an alias. On to number 2, Coulson and Ward use Bakshi to infiltrate Hydra. This is going to be the real test, seeing whether or not his conditioning holds up. That the end of the episode made it seem like he'd turned on them again, like he'd broken his programming. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is all about shocking twists, so I wouldn't be surprised if he really is still conditioned and this is all an act, like he's just acting for Hydra, for the benefit of Hydra. That was a really awesome evil grin on his face though. Did anybody else see the Star Wars Easter egg whenever they were on the airplane and he's like, I offer you Deathlock? Wait, they're giving him to him? It's like when Luke Skywalker offered C-3PO and R2-D2 to Jabba in his palace just to ingratiate himself to them. Since they captured Deathlock and Lincoln at the end of the episode, I'll be interested to see if they really do try to upgrade his compliance software. There's really only about 4 episodes left, so there'll be like a couple more shocking twists. And I'm still expecting like a really crazy big villain reveal, like, Whitehall to step out of the shadows, or something even bigger that we haven't seen yet, something unexpected. And finally, my number 1 WTF moment, Coulson doubles back and turns himself into the real S.H.I.E.L.D. So if this seems confusing, just remember the title of the episode, The Frenemy of My Enemy. So now I think, Coulson feels like real S.H.I.E.L.D. is less of an enemy than Hydra is. So he's going to ally with them temporarily without them knowing it. I don't know that he cares a whole lot about Lincoln. Like, he doesn't know a lot about him right now, but he'll probably try and save him too because he's trying to save Deathlock. He is going to get like the biggest slap in the face from May though whenever he gets back. She saw him with Ward, so she probably thinks that he's turned. It's really hard to tell what's going on inside her head. I don't think that she's completely turned on Coulson, but it's a very Captain America Civil War type thing where it's like, the truth matters, it's not about sides. I think Coulson turned himself in as a measure of last resort though. Like, they need resources that real S.H.I.E.L.D. has access to. He needs to go back to the base. Ward was like, we're outmanned, outgunned, we can't do it by ourselves, we need more help. So either Coulson is going to try and turn more people inside real S.H.I.E.L.D. to help him out, or he's going to try and make a bargain with real S.H.I.E.L.D. like he made with Ward. So they did a really good job of tying all the different running plots together thematically with the title of the episode. Here's my big question for you guys though. What do you think that Coulson's going to try and do to get Deathlock back? And what do you think the Inhumans are going to do to try and get Lincoln back? What I'm hoping happens is that they all these different forces converge on Dr. List, on Hydra. Right now, he seems like the likely candidate for Big Bad. That is unless Whitehall resurfaces, which is totally possible. But right now, Dr. List is like the biggest Hydra person that isn't Bakshi. This whole system of shifting alliances is one of the reasons why I think S.H.I.E.L.D. works so well this week. It does a really good job of telling these types of stories. That's why I think it was able to cross over with Captain America Winter Soldier in a much bigger way, and why I think that next year, whenever we get to Captain America Civil War, there will be like a much deeper integration with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Beyond the minor points of crossover that I already mentioned, there weren't a whole lot of Easter eggs in the episode. There was a Hulk shout out, but I don't consider it much of an Easter egg. But if you did see anything like really specific, any logos or anything like that in the background, let me know. Just a reminder in related news, I'm working on more Daredevil videos and an Arrow Flash Q&A for this week, so I'll try to get that up by Saturday. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. I'm gonna do like an Avengers Age of Ultron Q&A too, but I'm gonna wait till after I post my spoiler review next week. In case you guys haven't seen it, I actually just did a non-spoilery review for Age of Ultron. You can click here to watch it, and you can click here for all my other Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. videos. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody, let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.